Nothing here to see, just a kill out me, trying to cut some teeth, trying to figure it out. Nothing better to do when I'm stuck on you. I'm still in here trying to figure it out.
Hello there. My name is VIJAY KARUNAKARAN, founder CEO InGage Technologies, a Chennai-based technology company. Today we're going to talk about virtual reality, also called as VR. I'm going to walk you through the definition, what it does, and what's this all about. Right now I'm in Chennai, sitting in my office. What if I want to get a feel, have the experience of stepping into the Mars planet, the red planet? What if I want to interact, get into the minds of a Mars explorer, get to feel what it means to explore Mars? Second example, what if I want to get a feel what it means to explore Paris from Eiffel Tower? Third example, we all grew up watching the various Disney movies. What if in case I want to become one of the characters of a Disney movie, a 3D animated movie, and get to interact in that environment? The technology that brings this fantasy into reality is called VR, virtual reality. If I have to define VR briefly, the way I would do it is, it's a technology that transports you from your current environment into a completely immersive, interactive world. And it transports you from your current environment to a different world for various reasons: training, gaming, education, whatever it may be. Huge experience. How does VR work? How does this wearable technology make you believe that you are actually in Mars when you are actually about to bump into a wall next to you? What's the technology involved to give you this immersive experience? Let me explain that. There are three major components required in VR. One, it's your PC or your console or a smartphone that runs the application or the game or a video. That is the computing device. Number two, you need a head mount device, also called HMD, head mount device, that secures the display in front of your eyes for you to get that immersive experience in front of your eyes. Number three, you need some sort of controller input device. They could vary between a head mount tracking device or a high sensor. It could be a hand tracking device, could be a touchpad, things that lets you control the virtual reality environment. These are the three things that's required: smartphone or any device, a head mount device for your display, number three, input device. What happens is the smartphone executes the content for you. The content is sent from your device onto your display. The display has technology that magnifies what you see into a wraparound 360-degree display, and there is an input device that is attached to the head mount device that lets you control the environment. This is how the VR works. There has been a lot of excitement lately about VR, virtual reality. Let me remind you guys, VR as a technology has been there since 1900s. Any pilot, whether it's a commercial or a military, goes through VR based training called flight simulator before he actually lands in actual aircraft. So a lot of training happens on flight simulator. That is an example of flight virtual reality, and that's been there for a real long time. But those training required very powerful computational devices like workstations before. But now with the advance that's been happening in wearable technologies, in smartphones, a lot of things that were not possible before is possible now and the future. That what the VR, virtual reality, and the AR, augmented reality, is all about. And there's been a lot of excitement around this area. The opportunities, the experience it can provide to the consumers across various fields: gaming, education, training, and other whole lot of possibilities. Let me give you a snapshot where the market is right now from a business opportunity perspective. In the last year, in 2015 right, we were looking at a total market cap of around $1 billion, the whole AR VR market size. It includes the content and everything and the wearable devices. But in the next 4 years, by 2020, they are projecting a $120 billion. Let me repeat, $120 billion from $1 billion. That is a huge growth. That is the amount of investment, that's the amount of research, that's the amount of content that's being generated now and in the years coming forward. That's going to make this fantasy world a reality for the consumers. And if you look at 2016, there's been tremendous amount of investment happening in this VR world. And definitely the top guys, the Samsung, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, are the key drivers that are putting a lot of investment in this area. As a general thing, right? So if you look at it, I have a son and a daughter. My daughter is only 4 years old. The way she interacts on a smartphone, it's amazing. They feel touch is the only way to interact with. If you rewind, say 15 years back, we're all holding a brick as a smartphone. The last 3 years, a lot of tremendous technology advancements have been happening that makes a smartphone so powerful. But we have come to a stage in the smartphone growth, it is hitting a stagnant. We have, amazing display technology. We have huge computing power in terms of quad core, in terms of GPU. But to get consumers get excited, to have a different immersive experience, VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality, are going to be the demand drivers for smartphone users. That's why all the major smartphone manufacturers in the world, including Apple, Samsung, you name it, they're all investing heavily in the VR. That's why the excitement. And VR, don't get me wrong, is going to bring a tremendous opportunity. It's going to change the way we as human beings going to interact with our world, right? We're going to see things differently. We're going to interact with our environment differently through VR. All is going to happen. It's going to be a reality, not just a fantasy in the next 3-4 years. I'm very excited. There's been a bit of misconceptions, lack of understanding about what VR could do. I want to clarify a bit. VR, virtual reality, is not just about gaming. Gaming is definitely a initial thrust people like to give, because that's what let consumers enter into this new experience. The early adopters, the gamers, are typically that. But VR transcends way beyond a gaming, right? In educational, in training, in architectural, in exploration, in businesses, VR has a tremendous opportunity. Let me give a quick scenario how it's going to be, right? A kid, say a 5-year-old kid, is learning about some technology. He's learning about, let's say, William Shakespeare's, right? He's reading a novel about William Shakespeare's, one of this Romeo and Juliet for that matter, or whatever, right? How cool it will be if, in case, the learning from a textbook is complemented or supplemented by having an immersive experience where the kid could take an existing smartphone, plug into a Samsung Gear, which is an example of VR head-mount device, and get into this actual environment to feel, to experience what it means to live in the Shakespeare world. So that learning from a textbook suddenly becomes a lot more interactive, immersive. So there's a deeper learning into the kid's mind, so that she can visualize, or she can visualize. So definitely training, simulation, education is an area that has a tremendous opportunity. Obviously, the gaming is a great area. Entertainment, videos, for example, you're able to see the 360-degree view of any video. It's a pretty huge example of it. So it's going to completely change, and even augmented reality in terms of commerce, it will change. For example, you don't have to go to a mall physically. You could wear a head-mount device, enter into the say Dubai mall, and start shopping without actually being there. That is opportunity that a VR provides to consumers. The uses of virtual reality is beyond gaming. Let me explain few practical applications where VR could be used. Once again, it is the very early journey of virtual reality. There are research happening, there are applications built in various areas beyond gaming. Gaming, we are all very, very clear. Gaming is the initial adapter of virtual reality. But let's talk about applications beyond gaming. Let me list them. 1. Sports. Just imagine, everybody wants to go watch a game in the actual stadium. So be it cricket, so be it soccer, doesn't matter. Not everybody has the luxury of visiting the stadium and watching in the front row the game, or say IPL. VR could make it happen for you sitting in your living environment. Just imagine, you are able to put a VR and able to experience the actual live game as if you are there, and able to see it from every angle. That is possible in VR. And there are startups around the world, including US, where that is being made possible. I was in GDC last week in the US, in San Francisco, where a particular company showed me a demonstration where I was able to watch in 3D the actual live telecast of a game, and able to see the game, a live soccer game, from every angle, from top, from bottom, next to the soccer player, middle of the field. That's possible in sports. 2. Healthcare, in surgeries. VR is being experimented. There are very early cases where VR is being used in the location of a tumor or a cancer, and helps the surgeons to in the overall surgery process. It also helps in the post-surgery rehabilitation. Huge cases. As I said earlier, shopping. You could be sitting in your living environment and experience a mall in Paris or in Dubai or in London, and go about in shopping and get the product shipped to your home straight away. It could be in military, as is always the case. Before the actual soldiers get onto the actual field, they get to experience the various possibilities of a military ground. And it's also used in museum. It could be used in museum, and there are apps where you could experience the museum and the interactive experience through VR. Other applications could be the automotive engineering, where you could simulate the actual manufacturing processes of a mechanical equipments and get a real-time environment simulated data, so that it helps in the actual manufacturing efficiency. So many applications are being experimented, being developed, and they will be used in a very extensive manner in the next couple of years. So I think currently there are around 200 to 220 applications that are supported, especially for the Samsung Gear VR, and that number is going to increase because just now in the last few months the consumer edition of Samsung Gear VR has been launched. Before that, it was more innovation edition, mainly to get the initial part of going. With a lot of advancement happening in the display to make sure many of the sort of the side effects called the side door effect, the pixelation, other nausea feel you might have in VR. They are getting resolved. As they're getting resolved this year, I think 2016 and 2017 is going to be a big boom year for AR VR area. Currently, Samsung Gear VR is a very affordable VR headset that works along with the top ends of Samsung smartphone devices, especially the Note S5, the S6, X6 Edge, S7, S7 Edge. The reason because those are the high resolution devices, and you need that for a good experience in Samsung Gear VR. But things are going to change with a lot of technology advancement happening in the display and also in the VR. I think we are all set for VR to take off in the next couple of years.